Hello,
Hi.
everybody. How's it going?
What up?
Hi.
I mean, today on Meet and Greet, we have the superstar Chinaza Onuzo himself.
Yes.
Yes, you know.
Kill me.
And Zulu in red hair.
Yes.
Oh, yes, you guys.
You see,
And it looks fabulous.
Oh,
she's
thank
now
you.
like, don't kill me. You
Oh,
see?
yeah.
And then, of course, you know, this up and comer, this
up-and-coming artist.
striver, you know,
We're
someone
doing
that
our best.
we
He
brought
had a
him
few
off the
singles. He
street.
had a few singles back in the day.
That nobody
you know.
single,
Single, no album was single.
Yeah, just one or two things.
Yeah,
Well,
one or two
we
things.
thank God
Then he
for,
did a few movies.
He
for
did.
small progress.
I think
So,
Waka
like,
Pass, you know,
Yeah.
like
it was a bit like Waka Pass, you know, he was walking to the altar and back, you know,
Oh,
that
right,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
that's
I'm walking to the north.
Then he also went
Moses.
for NYSC, he also went to do NYSC in the
All those
north and
types of
things like
things.
that.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, the inestimate, whatever that word is,
Just keep it simple.
W.
Hey,
Welcome.
Spectacular.
thank you so much.
Mr. Banky W, don't mean to trouble you.
How are you, sir?
You know,
Yes.
can't believe that Ebute Meta was 12 years ago.
Was it? That's a long time.
Feels like it was longer. 12 years. I
What are
was
we?
still in uni.
2021. It was 2007. So
2007.
14 years.
14.
do the math.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, I've been around for a long time.
Yeah, and many
How
more
does it-
years to come.
Yes. How does it
Amen.
make you feel?
Old.
So can I just say that we want to take credit for the full beard of Banky W? We can.
Who is we?
Inkblot.
Oh,
For the
really?
full
Why?
beard?
Yes. Now remember, before you say up north or something that you had. Or no, it was wedding party. There was something that you. No, there was one of these things where you know you used to do the.
Nas, I think you're reaching.
No, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you the truth.
No,
I
I'm
think
telling
you're
you.
reaching.
There was something.
Let me tell you who gets the full credit for the beard.
Okay.
It's actually Ebuka.
Eh.
Yes, Ebuka talked me into it. And he said, he also talked me out of bootleg jeans, which I'm grateful for. You know, Ebuka is a stylish guy, so he sees these things before they happen.
Oh yes, now we saw that
So, you know.
on your wedding. They decided that who was getting married.
Yeah, Ebuka's Agbada was
Because
getting married.
Ebute Agbada was the star attraction. Everybody else was just featuring.
Yes.
So,
No,
yes,
but I
I
think
get a lot of styling tips.
I
from
think it's
him.
up north and the full beard, and I would just take that credit.
They
No,
said
he had the
stop
full, he had the
reaching,
full
you're
beard.
still
at
I
that-
did
at
have
that
it
wedding
before,
party.
but it's okay. You can take
At
it
the
if it
wedding
makes
party, he
you
had the
feel
full
good.
beard. He had the full beard at the wedding party.
Okay. But we took the credit, Sha, whether you like it or not.
That's like me taking credit for the story of wedding party.
Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so welcome to Meet and Greet, the
Thank you very
podcast
much.
about random gisting, where at some point we will figure out how to intro in a manner that doesn't embarrass our producer.
But wait.
But today is not
Banky
that
W
day.
has also done like a number of things. He was like a host at some point.
I have hosted, yes.
So why don't you just
Start from
introduce
the
this one?
beginning.
So now that's what your people are now doing. You're turning our guests into hosts.
the host.
No, we're
You have to
learning
pay me
from
extra for
them
that.
now. We're learning from them.
No, but
now.
so we will pay you a multiple of what we paid you.
I see, this is why you're a smart guy. This is
Yes.
why you are where you are.
Yes, exactly. So for those of you at home, a multiple of 0 is 0. So yes, we pay you 1,000,000 times your existing fee.
Thank you very much. You're
Yes.
so kind.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's like go all the way back. First things first, you came back to Nigeria and then music first of all. And I think a lot of people know you because well, it depends on how old you are, because I realize that this TikTok generation, they might
Yeah.
not realize that
Yeah.
you were like a music artist for like a number of years.
Yeah.
So
One of the best
what,
to ever
3
do
albums?
it.
Wow,
us
how
the
many
romantic-
albums? 5 or 6, actually.
No, now.
Yeah.
There was...
Did you just
You
say
want to
no
argue
now?
with me? Are you about to argue with
Yeah,
me?
No,
so,
now
so,
I'm
so
just-
the first project was an EP. It was called Back in the Building.
Yes.
Then there
That's what
was
Ebute Meta.
Mr. Capable.
Yes.
There were 2 versions of that. Then there was the W Experience.
Yes.
Then there was R&B W. And then there was Songs About You, which was technically not an album. It was more like a playlist. It was around the time of the actual wedding.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have some music out, so I just put that out. So there was
Okay.
R&B W. And there's the bank statements that's coming out this year.
Ooh, when
Yeah.
when have
coming
you
back to
set a
music,
release
fourth
date? Are you
quarter,
about to?
fourth quarter.
Oh, give us the tea
So,
so that we
question.
on our show.
Why did you come back to music?
So I heard somebody say once that artists never retire. They just stop when they no longer have something to say.
Oh, nice.
And for me, I just have a lot to say. It's been a few years since I've done music, and I've lived a lot of life in these few years. And I've learned things about love, about relationships, about God, about
Politics.
country, about family, about you name it. I've seen a lot of life in the last few years, especially. In fact, probably more accelerated than normal. And so the artist in me just started waking up and saying, oh, write about this and write about that. And then the ideas for the songs just kept coming. So as long as I have something to say, which I really have a lot to say now, and that's why we're calling it the bank statements.
Nice.
And here's the interesting thing about this. I don't think I've said this on camera yet. So, so the,
Exclusive.
So I want to tell you the concept, right? So the bank statements, Banky statements, right? That's one meaning. But then if
you're
you
an old man, that's an old man point.
but if you look at your bank statements, it's kind of a snapshot from January to December of your life. Like what's important to you, what's going out, what's coming in, what you're spending resources on. Like if you evaluate your bank statements from January to December, you know what's priority. So the album is actually set up in that time frame from January to December. So there's a song for every month.
Oh, nice.
So I start, January is like you want to start the year with God. So January and December are like the more kind of gospel-y type of songs. February is Valentine's Day, so there's a love song.
How can it not be a love song?
March up there. There's a couple of love songs. There's a couple of love songs.
BWAlbum.
There's like March is my birthday, so there's a ton of birthday songs.
Oh,
so
nice,
if you
nice.
think through the year and seasons and all of that, October is Nigerian independence. So there's a song.
What comes up in Beachbody season of summer?
Yeah, so there's some. Yeah, there are actually some summer songs, like 3 or 4 in a row that just go bam, bam.
That's
bam.
what I'm looking for.
No, you'll enjoy
Yes,
it.
Damola, we know you do CrossFit. We know you're healthy. We know you're wow.
My man is looking for where he will express himself.
I mean, it's not all about you. Stop it. And by the way, we call it a rainy season in Nigeria, not summer season.
That's true.
It's an international album.
I like it. I like it. I can't take you people anywhere.
International people here.
I remember one of my favorite experiences of Banky was Wedding Party 2, the first day of shoot at the airport. Do you remember that day?
I remember that day, but I don't know what experience you're talking about.
When we were shooting upstairs in customs and you were stuck and having fans literally coming at you like,
oh, right.
And he was standing there like, Naz, I hate you people, but I'm here, Sha. And he handed the regrets. And I'll never forget that because I was like, if you were me, and I'm literally, because we were shooting, you set up, you set, and like, that thing just, it always stuck with me.
That you're unable to.
That
How
like,
do you guys do it? How do you guys do it? Where random, it's like, if you're out in public, you are for everybody.
Public property.
Yeah, literally public property.
Banky is very gracious. I will tell you that for free.
Well, I guess it's all about perspective, right? So you could be, and there are a lot of artists who would be out in public and nobody would care. So that people care enough to want to take a picture or come say hi or whatever shows that you mean something to them.
Yeah.
And I don't take that for granted. So no matter how tired I am or irritated I am, I always try to, unless it's like an absolute scenario where I can't, I always try to take that moment to appreciate it because you can't take such things for granted.
That's
Not everybody gets that kind of love and favor, so.
I mean, Naz has been craving that for years. But
excuse you, please. I am famous in my own mind and that's enough.
I really like the dynamic this year. You guys are hilarious.
Yes, they are trying to slow my vibe, but
Well,
So
you
let me
keep
ask you a
moving.
different question. How did it feel? This is a random question, but I always wanted to know. How did it feel to create Lagos Party? And
How did it feel to create Lagos Party?
Yes.
Okay.
That it became the anthem for a city like Lagos for the period that it did.
Yeah.
It still is.
Well, for
I
us
mean, if
old people.
Oh, man.
When you play Lagos Party at a wedding of our
Please,
age mates,
I'm
we
Gen
go
Z.
crazy.
We turn up.
Yes, but how did that feel?
How did it feel? So I've always written music and made music that's relevant to where I'm at that stage. So if you hear a love song, chances are I was falling in love at the time. If you hear a breakup song, I probably experienced or I was drawing from an experience. And at that Lagos Party season, I was turning up.
oh yes, I
there's
know.
nothing like turning up in Lagos. You in the club. There's
I can
a
name a couple
period
of
of my
clubs
life
that
we
I
were
saw
in the
back in
club.
W.
Listen, my brother, we were in the club. I think like Wednesday to Sunday. Like it was just a turn up period. And I remember that year, or the year that the idea came to me, was my birthday, and we had this whole. I don't know why you would feel the compulsive need to go from one club to another, but we had this thing, and then we hung out with JJ in one, and I think in number 10.
Yes, number 10 was the thing
Then
that
we went to
time.
Caliente, then we went to this, and it was just like, I think I literally just said it to a friend of mine at the time that, man, there's nothing like partying in Lagos. And then the words just started coming like, ain't no party like a Lagos party. And so I've always captured the reality of, I find it easier to write when I'm writing from personal experience. So yeah, so that's how Lagos Party was birthed.
Okay. And so how are you translating that to the film side? Because that's the one that you've also been thinking about.
What do you mean?
Yes, now, so basically writing films and all of those things.
Are you going to produce? Are you going to produce something?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, so Susu and I have a little
Who is
baby
Susu?
company.
See these
Please,
people.
everybody knows who Susu is.
Everybody knows who Susu is.
Yeah, I don't know who is Susu.
Please go and Google it.
Please Google it. Google is your friend. Please Google is your
Adesua
friend.
and I.
Who is Adesua again? Another up-and-coming striver?
Yeah.
She's been in a few movies.
Anyway, she'll tackle you herself. So I leave you to your devices. No, but we've started a little venture called Bad Media Productions.
Okay.
Bad as in Bad 2017, as in Banky Adesua.
Yeah.
It's keeping the heritage going.
Carrying it on.
So we are working on some productions, some stuff for film, some stuff for TV. We're excited about it. And I think I've always loved just being creative, and I've always felt like you should never put yourself in a box that God did not put you in. So if you've been given giftings or talents in any way, shape, or form, explore it. Try it.
So what type of stories speak to you?
What type of stories speak to me?
Please,
Everything.
Excuse me, I want to answer.
Talk
Please
to
give
me.
us romance. The way you've given us romantic music.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You said God
Well,
put
I
you in
really
a box.
do.
Now you have decided that it's God.
That you want to just create
Are
your
you
own
God? And the man
Excuse me,
said,
can
with this red hair,
Hello?
you can
we
be
won't
God.
let you with this your red hair.
With this red hair,
No,
you
you
can be
will
God.
not land. What is this kind of
So
a
I'll tell you what.
I would
I
like-
do like romantic comedies. I like them a lot.
So you're getting
So there will be some of that. But in general, I like romantic comedies, action, thrillers. I like everything, really.
Just
So
put
I
romance
think
in everything.
I mean, Zulu. We know. Did you not just hear? Don't put him. If God is not putting you in a box, why is Zulu putting him in
We
a
just
box?
need more romantic movies.
we'll have some of that.
You can have romantic. You can have like
some of that.
what they call it, Pretty Woman meets John Wick.
I'm waiting for
It's
Inkblot
fine.
to holler at me so we can do another one.
Oh, shit.
It's been a while since we worked together.
Yeah, soon.
I'm ready for you.
Do you want to drag him or do you want me to drag him?
No.
Drag me.
Do you want to drag him?
No.
There's no dragging of me.
there's
possible.
Damola, please drag.
Do you want to
I want
drag?
to know
Because
the
drag is
drag.
so
Funny
bad.
enough,
I
so it's-
remember.
It's so possible.
So it's not a drag, but it's an interesting conversation.
Okay.
Which is that when
We like drags.
No, but it's when we did Up North, right?
Yeah.
Mr. W, that I call personally with my own hand on my own phone said, Naz, are you sure this script is what I should be doing?
Yeah.
Is that the drag you wanted to drag?
No, it's a
No, I know,
different
but we're
drag.
getting there.
We're
Naz,
getting
you have still
to
not let this go, huh?
no, never.
No.
Naz, you can't be this petty in life.
No. It's
But
not
I
being
did it
petty.
now.
I know you did it and you enjoyed it, but
No, it's not
Let me
being
tell you,
petty.
let me
It's
actually-
remembering things. It's just
wait,
being an
actually-
elephant.
Actually, this brings up a very interesting point.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you hollered at me about Up North, you didn't give me the script.
I know.
And I cannot visualize until I see the script.
No, I
so,
know.
So the clincher for me was the script.
Was the script?
Which you just didn't tell me. And I know the
like-
way that you work, and I know that you're extremely gifted. I mean, speaking for all three of you, you're very good at what you do. So I think that you assume that because of that, I should be able to make a decision based off of trusting
Who do you
your
think you are?
abilities. Which
Who do you
I
think
have
you
no
are?
doubts of your abilities, but there's a personal connection that I need to feel. Like I need to feel like
As an artist.
not only is this thing a good script, but it is a me script.
Right.
Okay.
And so without seeing it, I can't really make that
of course.
decision.
No,
So
of
I didn't
No.
agree at the time.
No.
And I think Naz has still not let it
No,
go.
because I told the man.
Petty labelle.
No,
You know what I mean?
Let's be clear.
But even when Edity came and still pitched me, I still didn't agree until they sent me the script. So you could have saved all of us a world
No,
of
but
trouble
I told-
by just sending me
No,
the
but
script.
No, but the script
I
was
was
still
very clear
in
that I was working on the
script.
script.
Hey, but I will read it
No,
now.
yes,
My brother,
no,
you
but I
have to
told
allow
you
me.
that
This
I
is
was
my own
writing it
process.
for you. The insult is much. I'm sorry. I mean, do you think that a script of that scale will put you in a corner and be saying, I mean, no.
It's not that, but
No.
I need to
This
see.
is when we did make this
Please,
in
ladies and
2018.
gentlemen, I don't think it's a crime. As an
I agree with
artist,
him on this.
I need to see it.
I agree with
to
him on this
agree
one.
to it.
Yes, of course. But
So-
I said the script was coming.
And you were right.
Exactly.
And I did the film.
Exactly.
And we
it
loved
was
the
lovely.
film. And it was an amazing project.
Please, but
and
I'm
people
sorry.
still talk about it till today.
I'm
Can I ask
just
you a question?
upset.
How many movies has Banky done?
He has done 4 and 3 of them are with us. He dared to do one without us. His insults.
So wait, you say that.
This is the weird thing. That's true. 3 of them have been with us.
What was
And
your
the-
Okay, Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
Sugar Rush. And
Because
then
you were in Femi's film, but I think that was a cameo, so that doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count.
Which movie was that?
I don't even remember the name.
So let me say something about that cameo.
Okay.
So the reason it doesn't stick in my mind and doesn't really count is because they made me come and play myself.
Yes.
Come and sing for 2 minutes and smile in a restaurant, bar, band scene and go.
Okay, that was
And
really-
I
really
don't
acting.
I don't actually like that. So in fact, everybody that has approached me to say, oh, can you come and just be Banky W in a movie? I say no. Because I have the only 2 people I've done that for, Jennifer from Akindele,
Yeah. Okay.
back in the day, and then Egbon Femi, because he's our Egbon. So just out of respect and but I don't like that. I'm already Banky W
In real life.
most
In
of
real
the
life.
time. So don't tell me to come to a film just to do that. So that's why it doesn't really register.
The reason why I asked that question was because you're probably the fastest actor to $1 billion in box office.
Has he reached?
Yes,
he
he
has
has.
actually.
No.
Yes, you
he
have.
has.
Well, I don't know that I find it weird when people say things like that because one of the great things about film is that it's such a collaborative process.
I know it's
It's the writers, it's the executive producers.
Please take your flowers,
the
Oga.
actors.
Take your flowers.
Put on your hat and just be
No,
like, yeah.
because when you look at it, right, with us as producers, right, you're constantly looking for like a bankable actor. And then you
Wow,
now
really?
have-
That
you know,
jokes are just flowing. Like, really?
And then you have someone like Banky who basically has been in Wedding Party 1, Wedding Party 2,
Up North,
and
Sugar
Sugar
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
And then if you add up the box office of those movies, that's $1 billion already.
Yeah, slightly
Yeah,
more.
we thank God.
Yes.
We thank God for.
I mean, Nee just did his own $1 billion in box office after how many movies?
It's 6 films.
After 6 movies,
6,
right?
7, something
So
like
yeah, as the director, so it's amazing.
We thank
Yeah,
God.
I mean, it just shows you that the industry is growing. And
It is.
So I think
Absolutely.
one of the things for us, and this is what Damola was going to drag you on, which is something that we discussed, which is basically on Who's the Boss. But then again, that the reason why that one I'm over it is because
Oh, you're over that one. You're not over this petty
no,
label one.
because that one is the basic one of if you don't connect to the material, you don't connect to the material.
Right.
You have to allow. So it wasn't that the script was bad, did this, did that.
It's the script with you and with Inkblot. The script is never bad.
Oh, so
It's just
I
a
think
matter-
we're talking without context here. Basically,
Oh yes.
We're going
okay.
to partner.
we're going to partner to do it, and
do
possibly
Who's the
the
Boss,
role
yeah.
that Blossom played would have been played by Banky W.
Right.
So in your mind, you can now do the math and now
Yeah.
ask
So
yourself, if
that
Banky played it,
it
how
didn't
would
really
have been?
work out for that film, but
Yeah.
it's not because Who's the Boss was a bad script or whatever, or that the relationship isn't here. It just didn't feel like the film that I
And
wanted
I mean,
to
that's
do.
what happens in the industry. You
Yeah.
know, because you want to collaborate doesn't mean every material is the best, material for
for
the
that
work.
time,
Yeah.
Because it was
But
so
please, I'm
amusing.
open for another.
No, it's
collaboration.
fine. It was actually, but it was really amusing,
Stop
right?
clearing your throat, Damola.
So it was really amusing because Banky went silent and then he calls me early in the morning. Like it was literally early in the morning. I was like, why is he calling me early in the morning? What has happened? So then he called me,
You need to sleep on it.
like, I love the script, etc., but I don't think that I want to do that. And I was like, okay. So the reason I said okay, I mean, of course, we were, I think, a month to shoot or something, and we had started making plans, and it was, of course, annoying, but you have to respect people's because
people's
this
decisions.
thing is about, like, if you don't connect to the material, you will not do the
You won't
work.
deliver
Yeah.
it.
Yes. So it's one of those things where, like, over time, as you learn to what's it called? What I'm looking for. As you learn to work with people and you understand the things, because it's all data, right?
Yeah.
So unlike Up North, where he actually did it, that's why that one is annoying. AKA bros me. I said I'll give you packs.
Oh.
So we'll come back to it again. What an insult.
Leave
You know,
Betty LaBelle alone,
Nah,
please.
this kind of behavior, it's not good to hold on to things.
it's just
especially
like this
because
is why
you
your
made
knees
it
not
and it
great.
was awesome.
This is why your knees are complaining every
No,
day.
but it's just 3 years now. What kind of small? It's just a small 3-year growth. I don't understand. It's just
And then
small
how
3
long
years. Let it be a decade first before you start telling me that it's Patti LaBelle. Stop that.
Please.
Okay. So
Ladies and gentlemen, Nazo Nuzo.
Yes, in true form.
No, but seriously, okay. So tell me about what you guys are thinking about next. So like everybody has, these are the things that I'm doing, and you stack them up in a line.
Yeah.
And so people like you
Right.
who are supremely busy, how do you say, okay, of these 5 priorities, this is the one and this is the one, or do they all just jumble together in your head?
So that's an interesting question. I do have a lot of things going on right now, and I'm still in the process of learning how to kind of keep that revolving schedule of projects. So, there's Bad and the projects that we're working on. I'm also trying to finish an album, the Bank Statements album. We're also working on Susu's album, by the way. She's got an album coming. You knew that, right?
Yeah. Well, I know
we heard rumors.
Yeah.
So if I say yes and they didn't know, that means I didn't tell them, and now is that a problem?
So I put you in a position.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on.
Not even that. I've listened to it. Have you listened
No,
to it?
why
I listened to some. Well, I listened to a song.
You listen to
so that's okay.
So I think that we have various levels here. I had heard rumors of it, which means I did not hear from them.
Okay.
Then you've heard from them. Then you've actually heard the actual content.
But this song might not be on this album
It's
because
okay,
this
it's
song
alright.
has been in. I mean,
You've heard a song.
Yes,
So,
song, yes.
point being, working on Susu's musical project. And then, of course, we have Suya Bistro,
Yes.
which we're about to open our 6th outlet, which is going to be in Ikeja. We have a kind of a vision in mind to get to about 8 to 10, and then, by God's grace, branch outside of Lagos, maybe go to Abuja, and then start to look towards becoming a franchise model, where like a McDonald's or an IHOP, people all over the country or even the continent or anywhere really can buy a license and then just plug and play the model that we've developed, and hopefully that will create more employers and more employees and all of that. So there's that, and then there's obviously church. I'm very involved in church, and then service and community, and just trying to play my part in making Nigeria a better
So that's
place.
5 things. Was that 6 things?
It's like 18.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Right
It's
about
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And then there's the family side of it and all
Which
of that.
actually is the most important,
Yeah, so-
because I'm a new dad,
Oh.
and they were giving me tips on sleep training, because the guy is just an amazing person that doesn't like to let his parents sleep too much. But I'm loving every minute of it. It's just been a mind-blowingly incredible experience. So I'm happy.
I mean, I can't, yeah, man, it's tough. But because when you say like you have so much to give. So how do you want to say yes to everything? So what do you say no to? Because you have said yes
I
to a
think
lot.
Naz is asking this question so he knows what to do about his own life. How to iron it out.
How to iron his own?
Yes.
Well,
I
I think that's a I don't know what the word is, but that's something that I've had to learn to do, which is to say, hey, I actually can't
You don't have
do
the time.
this, and I don't have, because the one thing you can't make more of is time. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. It's the one thing that God gives all of us a finite amount, and you get to a stage in life where if you are making time for something, you're taking time from something else.
Yeah.
And whether that's family or business or one business versus another. So I've gotten to the point, and because I'm the kind of person, I don't know, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, and everything seems like a good cause or a good project or a good initiative. So I found that in recent years especially, people would always, we want to do this initiative, call Banky, we want to do this, call. And then you find that you're stretching yourself so thin that you're burning out and you're not able to be as effective. So I kind of had to streamline, and it's actually credit Susu, who literally has to reinforce it in my mind over and over to say, hey, it's okay to say no to something that you either don't have the time for or it's not what you feel is your calling or your passion. And that's been a work in progress, learning how to be like, this is a great idea or a great cause or a great project, but I can't do it. And it's not for me.
Well, yeah, and yes, Zulu
And the
is
people
right.
who have sense will understand.
Yeah.
And the people who get upset,
They'll be all right.
Because I'm in a similar boat to you, because that whole thing that you get excited by everything because you can see the potential in everything.
Absolutely.
And so, because Zulu and I had a meeting like yesterday, and then we were just talking. I was like, oh my God, this thing is a great idea. So I tell my wife, and she's laughing at me. She's like, in what world
will you
have time to do this?
Yeah.
And then I stop and I'm like, yes, but I'm sure we can. So she's like, yeah, why didn't you say no? But it's like, yes, but it makes sense and it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then so the question is like, yes, even if it needs to happen, why is it you
that has to do
make
it
happen?
and right now?
Yes, and then I say that thing that, problems should be solved by those who see them. And then she laughs at me again because you know how you use all these proverbs to get out of...
to get your point.
Yes, it's like, so saying no to stuff is like for creative people who, as you say, are very passionate about stuff.
It's tough, but it's a skill that you have to develop because you can't do everything.
Yes.
You're not Superman.
I'm lazy enough to realize that I can't do everything and then just delegate.
No, but it's not. No, see, that's
It's not a matter of delegation.
Because me too, I'm lazy too. So like, it's not about that part about, because the people that succeed the most are the ones that are lazy because they get more stuff done so they can relax.
Yeah.
So it's more that every idea, if you see the potential in every idea, you want to figure out a way to make it happen, basically. So it's like we say, let us go and do, like all those committees that they call you, come and develop Nollywood, etc., etc. It's a worthy cause, so, but you know it's a massive time suck, right?
Yep.
So do you say no? Do you say yes? Do you figure out? I mean, remember there was one time where we were on 4 different of those intervention fund committees.
You
None
look
of
at
them
your
panned out
WhatsApp,
to-
you're on like 12 different WhatsApp groups of causes and initiatives.
no, but then the 12 different WhatsApp groups, in Inkblot alone, they're like...
That's not even like, I mean, like
And it's
500
film, not
Suya
film
Bistro,
projects,
yeah.
Kiniko EME,
Yes.
my church one has like 50, you
Yes.
know, and then there's now the random causes and projects.
that
and
are just
this,
stuck in.
Yeah,
so
because
it's tough.
I remember during the lockdown, we had the conversation about the figuring out the food distribution, remember?
Yes.
Yes, and you're already doing one. Someone called, so funny.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah,
called me
actually.
and said, can you call back and ask? Literally, that thing you just said people
Yep,
do.
yep.
Like, literally, and he was like, yeah, well, I already have mine. And the thing that I wasn't really happy about was that they had spoken to you. So if they had,
Right.
no, the people who asked me to talk to you,
talk to me,
and they didn't really give me context about the fact that they had spoken to you, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, because everybody wanted to do stuff at that time because, I mean, and that activism piece, right, is very important. And I guess it's easy for people like us to be like, yay, Banky. So how do you find time for that piece?
How do I find time for that piece? I think that well, you make time for the things that you're passionate about. And I'm passionate about playing my part and everybody playing their part in making Nigeria better. I think that, you know, we've all been burnt and frustrated and upset and, you know, manipulated or whatever word you want to use by the state of Nigeria. And so it's very easy to find a room full of people, especially young people who sit around and complain. But then, you know, when you say, okay, what are we doing about it? Or just, you know, what role are we playing? And then you start to see that the voices thin out. And it doesn't get better unless everybody does something, because no one person can do it all. So, you know, I was driving, you know, through the streets of Lekki Phase 1, where we live. And it's just from VI to Lekki, you just see trash everywhere. And these are all people who travel abroad, who see other places. And nobody feels like, oh, it's somebody else's job. It's somebody else's fault, granted, but it's somebody else's job to fix it. So I went to church, we started a community service group. We said, if all we do is once a month we get together and start picking up trash, let's do that. If all we do is do a Lekki food bank, let's do that. If all we do is use my foundation to try and adopt schools, what we did in the school in Bauchi, we've done at a few different places. Just do something more than just talk. You know, our people like to say...
That was my second favorite story, by the way, the Bauchi school.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. But our people like to say talk and do. Because if all you ever do is talk, then that means nothing. Action is actually what we need. And, you know, not to kind of go all political, but one of the most important actions is registering to vote and actually voting. And people don't understand that it's, at the end of the day, it's still a game of numbers. And so rigging happens when the numbers don't show up. So the presidency of the country has never been won with more than 15-point-something million votes. There are 23 million students. Sanwo-Olu won his election with 700 and something thousand votes in a state with over 30 million people. The seat I ran for was won with 23,000 votes in Etiosa, where we all live. We all have businesses. There's media, there's tech, there's Nollywood, there's music, there's oil and gas, there's banks. You could find 23,000 people without, do a WizKid show. You'll get 23,000 people immediately. So why can't we find 25,000, 50,000, 100,000 people who know we need to do better? To actually say, okay, you know what, if it's just me and my family and my friends, we're going to do this thing. It got so, I became so kind of consumed about it that I told them at EME that unless you had your voter's card, I was going to withhold your salary. So if you need to take days off to go and queue in line, go and do it. Because voter registration was on for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Nobody went until the last month. And then everybody complained, oh, the lines is too much, INEC is there. Yeah, it was on for almost 2 years, nobody went. And then everybody tried to do it. So
last minute.
So I feel like the problem in Nigeria is from the top down, but the solution is from the bottom up. Let's start here. Do we know who our local government people are? Do we know who our reps are? Do we know who our senators are? Your local government chairman probably won the seat with 10,000 votes. And yet he makes decisions that affect your community. So does your rep, so does your Senate, so does your State House of Assembly. So we need to start caring on a smaller level and say, hey, my neighborhood should be clean. You know, there's a Lekki food bank, which we've done. There should be an Ikeja food bank. There should be a Surulere food bank. Let's start to say, we can't do everything, and you know the presidency is disappointing us or whatever, but okay, here, what can we do here to make this place better? And I think with that mindset, you'll start to see, you know, it's like little drops of water. Nigeria doesn't change overnight with one person or one sweeping policy. It changes in a series of policies and actions and mindsets and people caring enough to do what they can do.
I agree.
So I will always care enough, back to what you said. I feel like if that is the quota that I can do to know that I'm giving back, then I will do it. You know, I don't need a seat to represent my community. I don't need to have been elected into office to just try and make my community or my constituency a bit better. If my actions depended on whether I got elected or not, then I don't deserve the seat in the first place. So,
Totally agree.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, it makes so much sense because essentially that's
We will
how
clap
our
our podcast. So we can should we clap? Yes, I shall clap, yes. So I forgive you
No applause necessary.
for Up
Thank
North,
you.
finally.
What do you mean you forgive me? We had a great, Up North was great. Let's talk about Up North.
Yes.
Briefly, if you don't mind.
Please,
course.
let's go to about you, please.
So this Up North actually was really kind of a life-changing experience for me. And one of the things that happened on that set, which I'm forever grateful to you guys for, and to Edity obviously for, and to talk about. If I start naming names now, we're not finished. But there was something that happened on that set a couple of things that happened that really just kind of opened my eyes and turned my life around. So I think it was the first day that we were filming. And you know, I had noticed out of the corner of my eye that there were like 3 or 4 kids kind of standing off on the distance, and they were watching because it was very fascinating to them, seeing us, you know, camera. We're shooting in that school. And lunchtime, you know, they bring the food that the caterer had brought, and we're eating swallow and soup and stuff. So everybody, it was a big cast. So we're all there eating. And when the lunch was over, the cleaners kind of grabbed all the, you know, stray packs of eba and bones and little things and packed it together and brought it and put it by the trash. And in a flash, those 4 kids descended on the trash and started piecing together pieces of eba and bones and strains of soup and gathering it. They just waited for everybody to move away, and they did it. And I was watching them. And there was a dog that was so old that you could see its ribs, you know, like it's malnourished dog. And they called the dog over and they gave the dog its portion, and then they shared the remainder of the scraps of food that we'd left behind. And my heart almost fell out of my chest. And I immediately called, I forget, Kelvin or whoever was.
Yeah. Okay, Kelvin.
And I said, listen, call the caterer. Please, every day that we're on set, I will pay for them to feed these children. The next day, 4 children turned to 10. The next day, 10 children turned to 15 or 20. And we did what we could. You know, we tried to, we fed them the whole time. We bought them shoes because none of them had shoes. We got uniforms for a couple of them that, you know, said they, you know, so they kind of became like an extended family on set. We adopted the school and tried to do some renovation work and just did what we could. But it was a stark reminder of how bad things are. Man, we're in trouble. There is so much poverty. They did the Durbar Festival, or Doha, I forget what it's called.
Durbar Festival.
And you know, you see it in the movie. You see all this, the colors and the horses and the sultan and all all of that. But if you look in the crowd, I've never seen that many people without shoes. I've never seen 9, 10-year-old girls with full faces of makeup. And I asked a local, he said, oh, they're advertising them for men to be able to pick. And I'm like, man, we're living in a bubble in our little success in entertainment or media or tech or finance. The country is in trouble. And those are the things that drive me to say, guys, we got to do something. So if it's to run, we'll run. If it's to do community service, we'll do it. If it's to vote, let's even start there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to depress us. No. I just took it from a very fun podcast to a depressing one.
One of the things
people are logging. Come back, we're joking.
No, but I see that's the thing, right? And one of the reasons why we want to do this is like, yes, it's a entertainment thing, but it's also, and why people like this is about what is important to you. Because people get to know you. Yes. Because you know us, your guard is more down than it would be if it were people that were not as charming as me and these other people.
There we go.
So we want to hear and see
people that are as humble as you.
Well, I mean, so you see, that's the trap, right?
Humility.
So you want now to say that I am not humble.
Humility.
And the test of not being humble is to say that
the point Naz is making is that this can go anywhere, and we love that you went there because it's important for people to realize just how much work needs to be done.
It's a lot.
And just how much they can actually do. Because you see, the thing, like you were saying, we need to start granular, ground level, work our way up. People are waiting for people to tell them what to do.
Right.
That's the thing. People are waiting for, everybody knows that something is wrong. Everybody knows maybe what they can do, but they don't know how to go about it. And so it's just a thing of just making people realize that no matter how little, even if it's important to you that you're ensuring that those little girls aren't wearing makeup, aren't put out in the street as an advertisement for guys to see. Even if it's that little, just going and talking to people, communities that you're in and talking to them and letting them realize that these things are horrible for the people you're doing it to.
Yeah.
It takes very little from you. If that's what you're interested in, do it. Somebody else will be interested in food. Somebody else will be interested in whatever else it is. And then that way, together, we'll be working as a community to,
Yeah, and I think that's the message is just open your eyes. There's so much, everywhere you turn, there's so much need. There's so many problems. Just find something that is bigger than your own. And that's the sad thing about Nigeria is that it forces you to essentially be a government unto yourself, right? You provide your own lights, you provide your own water, you provide your own security in your streets, in your estate. So it forces you to be in this, I gotta take care of myself and my family, and that's good because that's your first priority. But then you have to push past that and care about something that is bigger than your own chase for success and be a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Live for
and
the
there's
community
enough
as well.
If you look around, there's enough ways, right? There's, in the very minimum, can we all just say us and everybody that we know will register to vote and vote? That's step one. Then do some sort of community service. Even if you cannot be there, donate. There's Lekki Food Bank, there's Lagos Food Bank, there's probably some welfare kini in your church or your mosque, just adopt a school. They need computers. I mean, there's
a child.
But can I push back on something, right?
Yeah.
Because that is, and I'm listening to you, I've realized that I actually disagree with what you just said, which is donate, because that is the model that I used to. I'm too busy. All I can do is donate.
Give money.
But I think that there's nobody that is not busy. Everybody's busy.
Right.
So I actually think that approach is wrong, and that is the approach that a lot of us take. Let me find somebody to do it and the money.
Yes, which goes back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, Damola. What you were saying about time.
Yeah.
Time is actually the money.
Yeah.
And spending that time on something worthwhile is more important than actually giving money. So yes, the money is important. It's super important because you need funds.
Yeah.
But the time is also precious.
Listen, I use my time.
Yeah, obviously.
But I know that some people will just not.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
everybody
should.
Even if you put your time in the one that you're very interested in, and then give money to the others.
But there should be something that you
donate yourself.
I mean, because we met a CEO, very busy guy, but he was doing. He found something that he wanted to do for service, and he did it. There's you cannot be busier than this man.
Right.
Everybody is busy.
That's true.
So and it's listening to this made me realize that approach you have to find something. You should.
Yeah, find
an hour a
something to
week, an
care
hour a
about.
month. Find something.
If you go back to like the Bauchi story, right? Banky wasn't the. I mean, I don't want to believe that everybody else on set was blind
Yes.
to those kids, right? And even the community knew about those kids and all of that. But it takes one person realizing that and then taking action. And then a lot of people. The way it is that there's a bit of herd mentality. And there's a need for it where you would need one person to take the action, then a bunch of other people follow.
Right.
So I totally agree that the easiest thing to do is to sit at the back and say, look, let me just chuck money at it from far away.
Yes.
Right? And then it's fine. But then if there's that one person that can bring attention to it, then it's very easy for other people to say, oh yeah, that's true, then let's do something about it. So the moment you highlighted the issue with the kids and said, look, we need to feed these guys. And please, even if we have to pay for it, I'll pay for it. But please, let's feed them going forward. Then there's now like a flywheel effect. Other people now want to now be a part of it. Now join. I'm sure after that day, you really did not need to ask, have those kids been fed? Because
we were already sorting it out.
Then now you can now step back because, yes, you brought attention to it. You've kickstarted the process. Then other people can now pick it up and run with it.
But
Then
everybody should be that first guy. Yeah, so
Should be, but is it realistic?
No, I agree. But
that it will happen.
So look at that. Remember that viral video I sent you guys about that? It was a festival.
One guy was dancing by himself.
One guy was dancing by himself. Just one guy by himself. The second guy joined. A third, a fourth, and then in about 5 minutes, it became 100 people.
That's my type of. I
Can you
will
send that
start
to me?
dancing.
Yeah.
Can you send that to me?
We will look for it. I think it was something
you don't have it
it
anymore.
was something off
Okay.
Twitter.
Yeah, so it's probably my favorite.
That's my
I'll look-
type of thing. I can start the dance.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that usually, right, in more cases than one, right, you would find people who can see it. But one of the reasons why they don't get involved is they do not have the time or they don't have the bandwidth to be able to stay with that stuff. So it's easy for them to see it, identify it, and like Banky did with the caterer, please feed those people. He never has to worry about that again. He might now move on to something else. Or he might move on to it and say, okay, now that we fed them, what's the next thing? Now, the caterer mandates, feed these people. So now her job is find resources, whatever, to continue to feed those kids. Banky has now moved on to, okay, so now we fed them. Are they getting educated? Are they being educated? Do they have books? Do they have shoes to do this? Do they have that? Okay, what about their school and that? So he can move on to the next thing while somebody else is taking care of. Banky would have burnt out if he was the one
Going to get
sort out the food. Then think of the next level.
I agree with that, but you see, that's the whole point. Everybody's waiting for Banky to see it. You should, in your mind, say what is the one that everybody has the one that they have seen.
Yeah, so
Everybody, So when you see something and you're
see something,
so
do
that's
something.
one of the things that like it is. People say that like the hardest thing to do is start. But so that means you're always waiting for somebody else to start. So you too, there's something that matters to you that you want to start.
No matter how small.
So start it.
That's what handiwork is.
Yeah,
but
because-
do it for community, not just self.
Yeah, because
You have
acts
to
of
find that
service are
selfless-
important.
selfless thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, because when we listen to that, your video that everybody listened to, people were arguing about love language. And, my own is act of service and all of those things. And you can see that that is one thing that you do, basically, is a thing that they are, okay, I don't know if, you guys watched it now?
Yes, I
actually,
did.
Yeah, you didn't?
You
okay.
didn't?
Wow, yeah, one of the few Nigerians
Susu and
that,
I did.
yes, wow.
Zulu.
She just had a
Which
baby. She just had a
video are you talking
baby.
about?
Fair
It's
enough.
recent.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it's recent.
So it's the 1 hour
The
talk that they
talk
did.
that they
Okay.
did.
shared
So
our
I saw
testimony.
yes,
Yes.
I saw the clip. I didn't
Oh,
see
you saw
the
the
full
clip,
thing.
okay.
Yes. So the acts of service piece was very important in that, like, Mr. W was using act of service as a bludgeon. Be taking the service. But it's important that, like, everybody has to figure out what are the things that they can do as an act of service.
right.
So it comes naturally to some people and others it doesn't. It's like this podcast. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to us, right? But we are doing it.
It doesn't come naturally at all.
Yes. So the thing is that you can always get better at the thing. Because if you think it's important enough,
you work
you'll
on
figure
it.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
So I have a question now. So if we look at it, you've done music, then you became a music producer, you got your own record label, then you moved on to acting, then you're looking at the production company, you've gone into politics on some level. What's next?
Impact, just more impact. For me now, I think that I've kind of come into an understanding of, or a glimpse of what my purpose is, and it's just trying to chase that. So whether it's still in music with the music that's coming, whether it's in film or TV, whether it's in service, whether it's in church, whether in any area that I have access to, that God has given me, I want to have as much impact as possible. There's an old saying about the graveyard being the richest place on earth, where it's like people die because with their dreams still in them, and things that they could have done or ideas that they had. And you know, I think if there's one thing that COVID probably should have taught all of us, is that nobody knows.
Yeah.
We were all walking around one day, the next day COVID is here, people are dying, and people have always been dying. And the truth is, you don't know when your time is going to be up. So for me, it's like I'm almost on a mission, and this was even before COVID. Maybe life has just taught me this. You know, I've had skin cancer a few times. So things have happened to me that make me be like, listen, I only have one shot at this life. So when I die, I want to die empty. I want everything that I've got in me. If it's a dream, I'll chase it. If it's a talent, I'll use it. If it's an act of service, I'll do it. Just so that whenever that day comes that my story is done, I'll know that I left everything, or I tried to leave everything that I had on the table.
You're doing, this is something I say to a lot of people. I mean, this might seem like a toast, but it's not, because it's the truth. No, to be honest, I mean, I think these guys know I don't toast people. But
He does it very badly.
no, but seriously, I think that you're one of the very few, like in one hand count type people that I've met you pour yourself out. In the sense that you are attached to anything you're doing and you are passionate about it, and you give everything you have to everything you do. And I think that that's remarkable. I think that for a lot of people, I think a lot of us have to, what's the word?
Protect.
No, not protect. We need to learn how to do that. For me especially, because I'm very closed, I'm a reserved person. So, you know, knowing people like you, people like me, Akimolayo, you know, they're people who are very giving of self. And, you know, it's very commendable. And yeah, I can't wait to see the kinds of things that you do, God willing.
Amen.
All the projects that you have, I do know that, you know, so long as it's going to impact people, we will feel the impact. So we're rooting for you. Just
by God's grace. Thank you so much.
Yes, and this is actually the last episode of season 1,
Hey.
and you are the perfect guest
for
to
it.
wrap
sorry.
up
You know?
Yes, because I think that we wanted to do very many things with this first season. It was an experiment, we didn't know, and we wanted to get to know people and share their perspective. And this was very, very important because it shows you that everybody is multitudes, right?
Yeah.
And all the different things add together to a whole self.
It's not just one thing. No one is ever just one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I really appreciate about
And
them.
if we can leave you with one message from this season 1, die empty.
This
Like,
is true.
I mean, because everybody that's come on in this podcast, you can see their drive, their desire, their grit to make something.
And you can see that they all have something else that they do.
Yes.
It's not just what you know
What
them
you
for.
know,
There's
yes.
always that something
No
else.
one is ever just one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, die empty.
Yeah, greatness
That's it.
is not just what you can get, it's what you can give.
Yeah.
It's you don't, when you die, you don't take your cars or your house, you don't take your family with you. You know, so it's what you leave behind in the lives of people, it's the impact that you do, it's serving as a stepping stone to somebody, as it's being an answer to somebody's prayer or a solution to somebody's problem. That's really what speaks for you when you're dead and gone. So just try to do that. Die empty, that's the message.
So thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing. Thank you, Banky, for being an amazing guest.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
for
having
having season 2.
And
if you need me, sure.
and we will see you guys in season 2, which we will figure out when to do it. Our producer may be like, I'm not working with these people again. Go and sort yourselves out.
If
Our
Hanifa,
producer,
please help us beg
Hanifa,
Hanifa.
Hanifa.
Please,
Hanifa, come.
Hanifa,
No, we need to thank everybody.
She's not
Hanifa, please
coming.
No,
go.
Hanifa.
No.
You have to come and wave.
I don't think she's gonna do
Hanifa,
it.
you have to come out.
No, you have to.
No, just come in.
You
For
know she
1
will
minute.
not come.
1 minute.
That
One
one-
minute.
know
Okay,
she will
fine. So maybe we'll convince her at the season finale of season 2 to come and show up. Thank you, Hanifa, for making this happen. We're very
And to
grateful.
our crew as well, thank you
yes.
guys.
Yeah,
Nora, thank you. Damola, thank you.
So on that note, that never changed now. Thank you. All right, thank you guys. We love you.